All right, ready to dive into some juicy astrological compatibility.
Always ready. What have we got today?
We're tackling a question from a listener. Want to know how Cancer and Libra match up in a love connection.
Okay, Cancer and Libra, interesting combo. Lots to unpack there.
Right. And just a reminder to everyone, we're not just talking sun signs here. We're going deep into the whole cosmic picture.
Exactly. It's like looking at a relationship's secret language, not just skimming the surface.
Love that. So we've got Cancer, our sensitive, homebody crab, ruled by the moon, emotions, nurturing, deep waters, that's them.
And on the other side, Libra, the air sign, all about balance, symbolized by those scales, right? They need harmony, but can be indecisive sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Thinking back and forth, weighing everything out. So from the get-go, we see some pretty stark differences. Where should we even start with this pairing?
You know, it's funny. We often think of these two as like instant romance, but both can struggle with what we call Mars energy when it comes to intimacy.
Mars energy. Now, for our listeners who haven't memorized the Astro Dictionary, what's that mean in plain English?
Good point. Mars is that planet of action, passion, how we assert ourselves, especially romantically. So saying Cancer and Libra struggle with it basically means they're not the most spontaneous when it comes to starting romantic encounters.
Okay, so maybe not ripping each other's clothes off at first sight kind of couple.
Haha, probably not. But T, and this is where it gets interesting, Libra is ruled by Venus, planet of love and beauty, so they're naturally tactful.
They don't want to rock the boat, always smoothing things over, that's for sure.
How's that?
How does that help Cancer, though?
Well, think about it. Cancer needs to feel safe, emotionally secure to truly open up. Libra's natural diplomacy creates that exact space.
So it's less about fireworks, more like building a slow, comfortable fire together.
Perfect analogy. And here's a fun astro tidbit. Saturn, that planet of structure, it's actually exalted in Libra.
Exalted sounds fancy, layman's terms.
It means Libras, even if they seem wishy-washy at times, are great at providing stability. Might not be obvious, but it's there underneath.
Okay, that actually tracks. Yeah, they want commitment, long-term partnerships. That makes sense now.
Exactly. But like any pairing, challenges exist. Remember those element differences we talked about? Water versus air, that plays out big time in intimacy.
Oh, here come the crashing waves against the gentle breeze. Lay it on me. How does this water-air clash play out in the bedroom?
Libra experiences physical touch. AS, the emotional connection, right? Cuddling, kissing, it's how they build that bond.
So they need that physical closeness to tap into the emotional side of things.
Totally. But Cancer, they need the emotional connection first. Then the physical intimacy feels safe and enjoyable.
Interesting. So it's like two different love languages when it comes to intimacy. That could lead to misunderstandings.
Absolutely. It's not that one's right or wrong, just different. That's why, for this pairing, starting as friends can be huge EE.
So they have that foundation of emotional trust before things get physical.
Right on. That existing bond makes a world of difference.
Makes sense. But what about trust in the broader relationship sense? Cancer's known for loyalty, but Libra's a social butterfly. How's that work?
That is the question, isn't it? Cancers are incredibly loyal partners, no doubt, but they can also be a tad insecure.
Yeah, when they feel like their person isn't fully present or emotionally available.
Exactly. And Libras, they thrive in social settings, connecting with everyone. Doesn't mean they're not committed. Remember, balance is key for them.
Right. They want it all. A loving partner, a fulfilling social life, everything in harmony.
But that need for external validation can clash with Cancer's desire for a more one-on-one connection.
So picture this. Libra's out charming the room at a party.
And Cancer's feeling a little neglected in the corner, wondering where all that attention went.
Ouch. Yeah, I can see how that could lead to some tension. It's not that Libra doesn't care.
Of course not. They just express it differently. They might need those reminders to shower their Cancer partner with extra love, especially publicly.
Communication is key, right?
Right.
Make sure they're speaking each other's love languages. But what about the flip side of this trust thing? How does Libra feel about, well, how clingy Cancer can be?
The other side of the coin, trust is a two-way street after all. While Cancer might stress about Libra's flirting,
Libra could find Cancer's ideal relationship a bit too much, too intense.
you got it. Libras value fairness, balance, and that applies to relationships too. Giving space, letting each other breathe, it's essential to them.
So for this pairing to really work, both need to be mindful. Finding that sweet spot between intimacy and independence sounds like a dance.
Absolutely. And that's where things get interesting because they're values while both prioritize relationships.
Once you go deeper than just romance, that's where the differences start popping up.
You know it. Big time. Cancers are all about those deep emotions, intuition, big heart energy.
Wearing their heart on their sleeve, feeling everything so intensely.
Exactly. Whereas Libras, they lead with their heads more. Logic, fairness, finding that perfect balance, that's their jam.
So one's following their heart, the other's following their head. I can see where that could cause some friction.
Oh, totally. Imagine, say, a friend needs help moving. Cancer's there, no questions asked, ready to lend a hand, even if it cramps their style.
Yeah, they're all about showing up for the people they care about no matter what.
Right. But Libra's going to hesitate, weighing everyone's needs, making sure it's fair. It's not coldness, just a different process.
Cancers might misinterpret that hesitation as not caring enough, though, right? And Libras could feel overwhelmed by Cancer's intensity.
Bingo! Communication is key, as always, helping them understand those different styles. But let's shift gears a bit. Talk about emotions. We know both signs are feeling-oriented.
But I'm guessing they express those emotions in totally different ways. Like water versus air. Got to be different, right?
You're catching on. Cancer experiences emotions on this deep, visceral level. Imagine the ocean, vast and profound. That's their inner world.
And they express that through nurturing, those heart-to-heart talks where you feel truly seen.
Spot on. Creating that safe haven for vulnerability. Now, Libra, their emotions are more mental. Think communication, ideas, always striving for that equilibrium.
So if Cancer's diving deep into those emotional depths, Libra's like soaring above it all, trying to make sense of it.
Love that imagery. And this difference can create some interesting dynamics. Cancer might crave those deep, soul-bearing talks.
While Libra's thinking, can we lighten the mood a bit? Maybe analyze this through a philosophical lens.
Exactly. They might even suggest a fun outing to balance things out, like, let's go to that new art exhibit and talk about it.
Which, knowing Libra, probably looks like something out of a magazine, all elegance and beauty.
Naturally. They can't help it. It's in their stars. But speaking of stars, both are ruled by Venus, planet of love and beauty, so there's common ground, right?
Yeah, both crave that love connection, building a partnership. But I have a feeling there's a but coming.
Always a but.
Yeah.
While they both want love, their visions of what that looks like day to day might be totally different.
All right, so both want a love story, but maybe different chapters, right? What does this actually look like when a Cancer and Libra try to, say, plan a weekend getaway?
Okay, picture this. Cancer's dreaming of that cozy cabin secluded by a lake, board games by the fire, homemade meals, lots of cuddling.
Sign me up. It sounds like the perfect recipe for some deep emotional connection.
Exactly. It's all about creating that safe, nurturing space to recharge, connect on a soul level. But Libra, they're envisioning a totally different scene.
Well, I guess something a little more, shall we say, glamorous.
Totally. Think chic city escape, art galleries, trendy restaurants, maybe hitting up a jazz club, you know?
Okay, so we've got serene nature retreat versus bustling city vibes. How did these two even find a happy medium for their shared fun?
That's the million-dollar question. It takes compromise, willingness to try new things. Cancer might discover they love exploring art museums.
And Libra could actually find peace on that nature walk, even if it wasn't their first choice.
Exactly. Relationships need that balance of familiar and new. That goes for any pairing, not just these two signs.
It's about embracing those moments together, even if it's outside your comfort zone a bit. So, as we wrap up this Cancer-Libra deep dive, what's your biggest takeaway? If they want lasting love, what's the secret ingredient?
Tough one, but I'd say it's the independence factor. Sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening. How does independence play into a love connection?
Cancer needs that security, that feeling of being deeply loved and cared for.
Right, super important for them.
But Libra, they need space to breathe, to socialize, to be out in the world doing their thing. It's about finding that middle ground.
So it's not about two halves becoming a whole, it's two whole people choosing to share their lives.
Exactly. And that way, they can truly appreciate each other's strengths, support those needs.
That's beautiful. Knowing yourself, what lights you up so you can bring that energy into the relationship.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you have it, folks. Cancer and Libra, a fascinating pairing with lots of potential, but definitely a dance, not a sprint. Something for everyone to ponder. What's one small act of independence when you can bring into your own relationships, astrologically compatible or not? Until next time, happy stargazing.